Good evening, and welcome to the March 25th edition of KSC-TV News. I'm Aurora Carabello.
And I'm Austin Cook. Thank you for tuning in this evening.
Keene State College has plans for a full return in fall 2021.
This includes bringing back in-person classes, on-campus student activities, and study abroad opportunities. The college delayed the start of its spring semester by 3 weeks in order to curb the positive COVID surge from winter. The 2021 spring semester offered 4 types of classes: in-person, online, hybrid, and blended. According to Keene State's online COVID-19 dashboard, 138 positive cases have been identified among students since the beginning of January. To accommodate for the rise of cases, the college moved to testing in-person students and staff twice per week. Keene State junior Paige D'Amelio says she's looking forward to having a more normal senior year.
Next year, I'm excited for in-person classes and to have a normal year. I'm ready to not be on Zoom anymore and actually be able to get on campus, and as well with a lot of more activities coming back that we haven't been able to do with COVID.
This semester, the college has continued all COVID-19 mitigation protocols. These include physical distancing in classrooms, mask requirements, and limiting the size of social gatherings. Sporting events on campus will look more like what we're used to when the fall 2021 semester begins. Owl teams will be back on the field in the fall playing outside competition. Keene State President Dr. Melinda Treadwell made that announcement this week when she announced plans to return to full in-person classes in the fall. Keene State Assistant Athletic Director Abe Oshiak says he is excited to be able to host the Owls at home again.
Sure, we're absolutely excited to be able to welcome people back, if everything goes as we hope it will. This has been a long year without being able to welcome our fans, our alumni, the parents of our student athletes to Owl Athletic Complex or to Spalding Gym or to the pool. To go a full year without seeing your child or your friend compete in person is tough. So we hope to be able to welcome them back. Absolutely.
Full schedules for fall 2021 will not be available until late summer.
The current COVID situation on campus has gotten slightly worse. Even though there were less positive cases last week, the total active cases has gone up. The college is reporting 21 total active cases. Out of those cases, 9 are off campus. 11 of those 21 are on campus. Last week, the college reported 18 active cases. On the state level, there were 360 new cases this week. 10 deaths were also reported. Right now, there are nearly 3,000 active cases in the Granite State.
Phase 2B of New Hampshire's COVID-19 vaccination program has gotten off to a rocky start. WMUR reports that on Monday, Granite Staters received error messages when trying to book vaccination appointments. They used the state's vaccination registration website. State officials say more than 200,000 people tried to log into the website on Monday morning, causing a traffic jam. Governor Chris Sununu says that the website did not crash and that there was a 95 to 98% success rate for everyone trying to register.
The Conval School District will not have a fully remote K-8 school year next year. The Keene Sentinel reports the district originally planned to dedicate $780,000 of their budget toward paying faculty for remote school. A school board member says the plan was canceled due to nearly half of taxpayers being opposed to it. The $780,000 will remain in the school's budget. The next school board meeting will be Tuesday, April 6th.
The pandemic has hurt many areas of the economy, but has been a boost for the gig economy. KSC-TV's Sean Belden shows us how the gig economy is working right here in Keene.
Restaurants downtown have been some of the most seriously impacted businesses during the pandemic. Carryout kept many restaurants open during the past year, and that helped boost the local gig economy. Services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub have been doing well during the pandemic. Economists say these delivery services are a lifeline for the unemployed and people looking to supplement their income.
I think in a lot of conventional definitions that get used in the media and in terms of people's everyday discussions, I think it can mean a handful of things. So it could mean we have a rise in contingent employment, so there are more people that are being employed, whether it's in the form of freelancers, whether it's in the form of independent contractors. I think some people use the term gig economy to mean that we have more people that are working second jobs than used to, or that people are switching jobs more frequently.
Most national restaurants like McDonald's, Wendy's, and Chipotle provide delivery through DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. Local restaurants on DoorDash include The Works, Yolo Cafe, The Farm Cafe, Life is Sweet, and Yoso Jamaican Grill. Delivery driver Chelsea Loves says most of her deliveries come from the national fast food chains.
Haven't actually seen a whole lot. It's mostly Chipotle, Applebee's, Chili's. I've gotten some from Yolo, Taco Bell, Wendy's. Not a whole lot from like smaller businesses.
Any reason why you think?
Most of the time I'd assume it's just like either not as familiar or just not what people want. I don't know.
These services helped us during the pandemic, but these services have problems with making deals with local restaurants. Grubhub used a local restaurant's brand on their app without their agreement. The State House is drafting legislation requiring restaurant brands to be on these services must have an agreement from both parties. I'm Sean Belden, KSC-TV News.
The cause of a house fire in Ackworth is still under investigation. The Sentinel reports the Ackworth Fire Department responded to an active fire on Beach Road Friday night. The flames damaged the second floor and roof of the home. The first floor also sustained some water damage. Fire Chief Gary Baber says no one was in the home when the fire started.
A Texas man has been arrested for kidnapping 2 teenage girls. 18-year-old Cameron Snowdy from Fort Wayne, Texas, traveled from Texas to New Hampshire to kidnap a 17-year-old Swansea resident and her 15-year-old friend. Snowdy is being held on a $500,000 bail and faces charges of both kidnapping and theft by unauthorized taking. Snowdy will face a judge in Connecticut on Monday.
6 people have been arrested for allegedly selling virtual currency in New Hampshire. The Keene Sentinel reported that all 6 defendants were taken into federal custody and are facing varying degrees of charges. 3 of those people are from Keene. Local activists Ari DeMezzo and Ian Freeman are among those facing multiple charges, including money laundering. Freeman could be facing a penalty of at least 10 years of imprisonment. Prosecutors have asked a judge to deny Freeman bail. Freeman's attorney says he is not a flight risk. The judge has not yet made a decision.
The New Hampshire Senate has rejected a bill that would allow everyone in the state to vote by absentee ballot. WMUR reports Democrats brought the bill to the state's Republican majority Senate, and it was denied on Thursday by a vote 14-10. Current voting laws in New Hampshire state that you need to have an excuse to vote by absentee ballot, and Democrats wanted to change that to a no excuse necessary. The currently accepted excuse to vote absentee in New Hampshire include a vote being absent from their town on Election Day, a voter having a religious observance, and having a disability or illness, or having employment commitments. 34 out of 50 states allow anyone to vote by absentee ballot without an excuse requirement.
A new minor has been made available to students attending Keene State College. KSC-TV's Ben Field reports the program could lead to larger possibilities.
Keene State College is introducing a new minor for the science department, geoscience. The classes offered will cover geoscience processes and why they are important to our planet. Currently, there are no students enrolled in the brand new program, but it opens up the door to new possibilities. Dr. Charles Kerwin says the minor could be more in the future.
So at this point, the geoscience minor would be part of the environmental studies program, but it could probably be a little bit more if even one person was interested in it.
The precursor to the geoscience minor was the geology major, which was put on hold in 2016. Recently, along with geography and environmental science, geology has merged into the environmental studies program. KSC could no longer justify keeping the geology department separate due to enrollment and faculty issues. Timothy Allen says the loss of students and faculty contributed to the merging of the departments.
It just never really attracted enough students on an ongoing basis to be viable. And so people retired and they were never replaced, and so the program was ended.
The survival of the new minor depends on how much attention it can draw from the student body. Already, some students are showing interest by saying that it is an important subject to learn about. And those enrolled in geoscience classes speak highly of their experiences. KSC Junior Christian Fraser says that it is important to know about geoscience.
I always thought it was important. I mean, even growing up, it was important to know how certain weather systems work, why our planet just does the stuff that it does.
Keene State's brand new geoscience minor shows promise in engaging students. However, it will need to attract more attention from the students to stay as a viable program. I'm Ben Field, KSC-TV.
Franklin Pierce University has announced its first Chief Diversity Officer. The Keene Sentinel reports Pierre Morton will serve in that post beginning in April. Morton was previously the school's Executive Director of Career Development. Morton says he is humbled to have been picked for such an important role as a gay-identifying man of color. Morton is also a Keene resident who is part of the Racial Justice Committee for the City of Keene. The committee was created shortly after the death of George Floyd. Morton will be in his new role on April 12th. Spring sports are back after nearly 1 year break. One of those teams ready to take the field is men's lacrosse. KSC-TV's Joe Fletcher has a preview for this year's roster.
That sound only means one thing. Lacrosse season is upon us. What was once taken for granted, spring sports are finally getting their turn to compete. Head coach Mark Terrio is grateful to even be having a season.
I know it's not an ideal season in regards to 17 games and starting in January, but I think for me, one of the most important things is to be able to have something that resembles a season and have the relationships with all the guys on the team.
This will be a most unusual season. Right now, there are only 6 games on the entire schedule. All of them are Little East Conference League games.
They're all LEC games and very winnable games, and I mean, the expectation is to run through them all and try and kill them. I mean, essentially, but also have a great time while doing it, like with the fellas and stuff like that.
That motivation is certainly contagious. Coach Terrio has ingrained that winning mentality even with the awkward season.
We're down a little in regards to the preparation because we started so late, but for us, I think the culture that we instilled, in the guys and in the program really has us, knowing that we are confident and we're able to win the conference championship.
Before last season's cancellation, the Owls were coming off of 6 straight LEC conference championships, a modern-day dynasty. Even with the success in recent memory, the expectations are still the same.
Definitely our goal, and has it been for 15 years or so, is to win the Little East championship and try to progress as deep as we can into the NCAA tournament.
After having a season stripped away 1 year ago, the team is ready to eat up any competition that steps in their way.
We're all hungry. The LEC is still ours, and we're going to take it back. And I mean, hasn't really left our hands, but we got it.
Although it's a bummer we won't be seeing any games being played here this season, the good news is that Owls lacrosse and its winning tradition is finally coming back to fruition. I'm Joe Fletcher, KSC-TV.
The Owls' first game is on March 27th. Will they be facing Western Connecticut University?
That's all for this edition of KSC-TV. Thank you for tuning in.
We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll see you then, and have a good evening.